Hi guys, Fozzie here, the Real Tech Reviewer. This time I wanted to talk to you about Uber. Now for those of you who don't know what Uber is, it's basically a private hire taxi company. But it works slightly differently, there's some distinct differences, and I want to talk about those now. Let's go.
The most obvious thing about Uber is that they have an app, and the app's actually really good. Once you've created an account and registered a card, the app can immediately find your location, assuming you have a data connection. Once it's found you, it'll work out how long it will take for the nearest Uber taxi to get to you to come pick you up. The app also allows you to choose the type of taxi to suit the number of people you have in your group. Currently I'm in London, so I have all the options available, but this might differ depending on your location. Here you can see the number of passengers allowed varies along with the price. Also note that Uber offer different services limited to either 4, 5 or 7 people. Once you've set your pickup location, which can either be your current location or somewhere else of your choosing, bear in mind this might be useful if you're on your way to meet someone else, then you choose an end location. To do this you search for an address or a point of interest. Once you've chosen your locations, you can get an estimate of the journey. Obviously the actual price will vary depending on traffic and road diversions and stuff like that. But then you can go and request it. Your request will then get sent to the nearest car available, and the driver will start to make his way to you. You're also sent a picture of the driver along with details of their car, so you know who to look out for. When the driver arrives, simply get in, confirm your name, and that's it. He already knows where you're going, so just sit back, relax and enjoy. When you arrive at your destination, simply hop out of the taxi and the payment is automatically debited from your card. Done.
So now we know how this all works, let's talk about the pros and cons. Now the most obvious advantages to using Uber is the fantastic mobile application, competitive pricing, and just the convenience and ease of use. Once you've used the app a couple of times, you'll get the idea of how seamless the entire process is, from ordering the taxi, to getting in, to paying for it. Now, you'll also find that it's much more convenient than ordering a taxi through telephone services and waiting indefinitely for it, or finding your way to the nearest taxi rank. The live location tracking also gives you a great indication of an ETA, which you can then share with friends and family, just to let people know where you are. And also I've found that in my area, the fares are extremely competitive, almost too competitive in fact, and I'll talk about that in a second. But I found that the total cost of the journey is around half that of regular taxis. In future then, it looks like Uber's going to have to increase their prices just to make it sustainable for their drivers. But let's face it, who uses Uber because it's cheap? They use it because it's convenient, because it has great mobile application interaction, and it's just better. Now besides the somewhat excessively low pricing, the only other problem I can see with it is expanding it out. In the UK at least, this is going to be an issue because in smaller towns, the demand for it isn't as high, and you can only really use Uber effectively in towns that have a major university, since it's popular with students who are familiar with mobile technology and using the application. Currently in the UK, Uber's doing really well in places like London, Manchester, Leeds and Birmingham, major cities that have a university. What this also means, however, is that you can only really use Uber effectively to go from a city centre to another location either in the city centre or in a rural area. But you'll struggle to get one into the city from a more suburban or rural area, and that's because of the way that Uber works. They rely on customer requests that go through the application, but they're not going to be requested as often if they hang around in rural or suburban areas, so they have to linger around in the city centres, which means you can only really use it to get out of town rather than back in. To summarise then, Uber provide an exceptional service at a competitive price. The only downfall or bottleneck, as I said, will be the lack of customer demand, since they rely on younger people who are more familiar with the application. That'll change in years to come though, so watch this space. Thanks for watching guys, I hope you found this video helpful. If you want to see more then just give me a like, subscribe and leave a comment. Thanks again, cheers.